Hello everyone, I'm going to be doing a spearmint tincture out of all this spearmint that I got from my garden. Now spearmint, like all the mint family, is really going to help you with, especially in the tincture form, with digestion, indigestion, nausea, cramps, stomach upset. It's going to do a lot of wonderful things in lowering the blood sugar and helping reduce stress. It actually is wonderful for women with balancing hormones. So there's a lot of wonderful things, and you can do tinctures and teas. And I want to do a tincture, and so yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. I have to get all these leaves off the stems, and then we'll be making our mint tincture, spearmint tincture. Little update: I am almost more than halfway through separating the leaves from the stems of the spearmint for the spearmint tincture. Look at all, I have a lot of plant matter. So here is the plant matter. I'm completely finished with separating the leaves from the stems. Now there's one thing I want to talk about, and if you have leaves like this with spots on them or lots of, obviously the insects have been eating on it, perfectly fine to use. There is imperfection. It talks about the health of the stem to use that. So if you can't avoid using that, a few or even a stem full that get in your plant matter, it's not going to matter when we start to form the tincture. You do want to use the youngest, healthiest plant matter, and I am from the school of the Wildwood Apothecary, which says, fresh plant matter instead of dried for tincture usage. And plus, I'm very fortunate that my best friend has been an herbalist, and her family has been working in herbalism, phytotherapy since she was a child. So this is our method. It's the fresh. Of course, this is going to have to be chopped a little bit just to help release the oils and get a good extraction in the tincture. So I had quite a few stalks and stems of spearmint that I'm not going to be using with the plant matter for the tincture. And then this is still good enough, even though it has brown specks and insect bites, that it's good enough for teas, or I can dry it for something else. And then that plant matter is that's like the worst grade. The ones I wouldn't use, those stems. But it's wonderful to have in my living room floor. I mean, what's so bad about having a wonderful scent of mint, which I absolutely love. I am one of those people that loves the scent of mint and lemon. So I'll let that stay there for a couple hours, maybe the rest of the day, and it's going to smell wonderful. And this I can use for teas, and I can dry this. So there's too many imperfections in this for me to put in, and I have plenty of plant matter, so we might have to dry some of that as well if it's too much. If there's too much, there's never too much. That'll just make your extract, your tincture, that much more potent and able. Its ability will be enhanced. Well, hello everyone. It is time to make the tincture. And you don't want to use anything wet with your tincture making. So I'm being very cognizant of that. So here's the plant matter. We have to chop it up a little bit, but we don't have to pulverize it or anything. You don't have to put it into a food processor or anything like that. When you go to do the chopping, you want either a mezzaluna or a knife like this that rocks. But unfortunately, this knife I just washed, so I don't want to be getting anything but plant matter and alcohol into the tincture. I don't want anything water. I don't want anything to dilute. Have your vodka on hand. This is an 80 proof. Preferably, you'd want an 80 to 100 proof. You would never want anything lower than 80 proof. And some mint over here that I'm not using. And another cute little thing you can do with mint, with any of the mint families, you can put it in a glass of water. I like these classic Coca-Cola bottles. I just love the classic bottles. And they will keep for maybe 2 weeks. I've had fresh. So if you want to make teas or any of that good stuff. But let's get started because I know that's what you want to see. Again, Spearmint Tincture is wonderful for reducing stress. It's wonderful for the hormones, female hormone regulation. It's wonderful for digestion and nausea and indigestion. You know, all the things that the mint family is absolutely known for. The spearmint is great in. It's wonderful as a tea. I make spearmint tea all summer long. So here we go. We're gonna I'm using this knife. It has a little bit of a rocker to it, but like I said, we don't need to pulverize our plants. We just want them to release their wonderful extractions into the tincture. So, let me get started. Like I said, you know, don't pulverize it. It doesn't need to be pulverized. Sorry for the sounds of my cutting board. You always want to use a plastic cutting board. Wooden ones hold on to moisture, so if you're doing a lot of plant matter, if you absolutely had to, it's fine. But if you can go without using a wooden cutting board. So now I just put the plant matter in here. I almost dropped it. Look at that. We have so much already. I might make 2 tinctures. I might use this canning jar, and I might reuse this nice little asparagus jar that I got from my mother. So yeah, like I said, foraging during quarantine has been wonderful. I have a quarantine buddy, my best friend, and we are outside as much as we can, foraging and learning a lot. Like I said, you don't need to pulverize your spearmint. Preferably, you want to use the youngest spearmint. Anything that falls off the cutting board, I'm just not even going to use, even though I sprayed this down with alcohol for sterilization. But for sanitary reasons, if it falls over off the cutting board, I'm just not going to use it. Now this tincture, this is going to be for my use, for my family's use, for my friends' use. I'm not selling this, so I'm not trying to... Wow, I actually want to put as much as I can in here. Like I said, the more you put in, the more your extract will be. It'll make it more able. The potency. When I was telling you earlier about, you know, not using leaves that have a lot of imperfection, but if a few get in there, it's okay. See how that's browning up a little bit? That's just showing you that the health of the leaf is a little deteriorated. Sometimes you have the insect bites. And let me take a little breather from here. Again, plenty of plant matter, and I still have plenty of room. If you can get it all the way up to the top, perfect. That's what we kind of want. I have to say a lot of thank yous to Tippy and to April over at Wildwood Apothecary. She's really been so generous with her expertise and sharing so much information. It's just kind of wonderful, isn't it, that the land really wants to help us out as much as possible. If you go out, whether it's you have to take a little bit of a drive, or you have to go to a state park, or you just get out in the country, you will notice so many wonderful herbs and plants that are so medicinal, that have so many mullein. You'll see lots of mullein. You'll see lots of Queen's Anne lace, yarrow. You'll see lots of mushrooms, chaga mushrooms, tiger tail, turkey tail mushrooms. We're getting down to the end here of the chopping. And again, you don't have to pulverize these. You don't have to use a food processor or anything like that. Now we're going to move this out of the way because it is time to do the hardest part. I'm just kidding. Which is parting ways with your vodka. And we're going to fill her up all the way to the top. And the reason we do that is because we don't want any oxygen left in this jar. So we fill it all the way up to the top. Wow, I used the whole jar. I used the whole bottle. Interesting. We do this because we don't want any oxidation. Tight. We'll put the date on there, and in 8 weeks, we'll have our tincture ready. So I thought I'd have enough vodka left to do some more tinctures, maybe an oregano tincture, but that was not to be. So that's very interesting. All right, well, thank you guys so much. This has just been a wonderful learning experience, and I can't wait to do more. So thank you guys so much, and like I said, isn't it just so interesting how much the earth, the land, wants to help us out, and most of us are never paying attention to this stuff. It's just right around us that can heal us and help us with a multitude of problems. Thank you guys so much.